Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Changeling the Dreaming, Darkness in Dublin. This evening's scene takes place in the Junction, the palatial freehold of Baron Voidfrost ap Verich, that serves as a train station linking the various different hotspots of changeling activity around the globe to Dublin City. Lord Verich sits on a high-backed chair with the two glowing golden suns of his namesake house flying behind him on two banners. His legs are crossed, and he has his fingers pented together. This is the time of day where he hears applications and grievances from his subjects, which means this is the time of day that he takes a mental nap because he doesn't care. But that's a slight over exaggeration. But yeah, so
I'm actually kind of imagining Void Frost having a complaint slash suggestion box that's got a hole in the bottom that goes straight into the garbage.
nah, we have knockers. It goes to a furnace to feed I don't know, to feed his tiny fan that's just next to his chair. So
Okay.
he's literally made more comfortable by your discomfort.
Okay. So um
Hang
there
on,
will
before you do your introduction, where are the other people who I assume will probably already be in the room? Ha ha ha.
I have a feeling we're either on the left side and the right side of you. I mean, just a guess.
Yeah, that would be my guess, considering it's his wife and his squire.
Very good. Boggin. Do the Boggin thing.
Okay, so this character is actually pretty chill compared to my other characters. She's a she's a boggin. She's just a very short woman with a mop of curly hair on her head. She stands shorter than about 5 feet tall, so like 4'8" maybe. She's really short. Um, and she's wearing something that looks rather comfortable. She's wearing comfortable shoes, probably a pair of slacks maybe, and a nice, probably dark blue or gray button-down shirt. She dresses rather modestly, I would say. Um, and she approaches the throne that he's sitting on. She'll bow and say, "My lord, my lady," and she'll nod her head at the squire whose name she doesn't really know. And she will say, "I'm Miss Siobhan Gallagher, and I own the Honeycomb Inn in the Dublin city center, and I have a grievance to bring to you because I'm not happy." And she'll reach into her pocket and she'll pull out a cell phone and something that looks like a small spider, but it's made out of metal, possibly. And she'll tap a few buttons on her phone. She'll bring up a recording, and I'm not sure if you guys watched the scene from last night.
We did not.
Okay, so basically, um, she actually has a book bag with her, and um, her she'll pull out a book that's a rather largely bound book that looks maybe to be sort of like a ledger of some kind to because she's bringing evidence with her. There will be a gentleman behind her. He's rather tall. He's about 6'4", with curly hair, glasses. He's probably wearing like a plaid shirt, and he's holding something wrapped in a cloth of some kind. It a rather large item. Not really sure what it is, but she'll play the recording, and essentially it is a two individuals speaking to one another, and they're talking about how one of the individuals has a rather gruff, raspy voice. The other speaks rather normally, and they will be speaking about a plot of sorts. They mention something about a princess. The one with the rather normal speaking voice mentions that he is a merman, and the other sounds ominous is a good word, I would say. And so she'll play the recording, and if you want to listen to the actual recording, you can watch the other scene. But at the end of the recording, they're talking about how something about payment of a sort. And so they'll speak about that, and then there will be a scream as if somebody is being attacked, and then a thud hitting the floor. And once the recording is done, she'll open the ledger and say, yesterday evening, I was visited by two individuals, a rather sturdy-looking fellow by the name of Sir Talios, and a rather tall, near 7 feet, black puka with gnarly, long, skeletal-like hands. They were very disturbing, and he was a rabbit. The puka ate the face off of the merman in my freehold. Now, given the laws by which we abide by and the laws of hospitality, this cannot go unnoticed. And so at that point, the tall gentleman that is in the room behind her will unwrap. Actually, he'll lay the item at the Baron's feet, and unwrap it. And it is a rather large sword that smells of the ocean, and it is gold and blue, and it's very elegant. And she will open the ledger, and she'll actually ask if she can approach the Baron to show him the evidence of their visit and the how much they paid for their stay, etc., to prove that they were actually there in her place.
He will take this as given, so you don't need to show him the exact amount.
Okay. If you wish to speak with Fangly Joe, the red cap, he can corroborate my story.
So, you mean to tell me that what? Someone came into your establishment and murdered?
Yes, sir, I do. And she'll actually show him a picture of writing in blood that was on the wall, and it says the shadows will fall. And this actually was written in the blood of the merman.
Can I ask 2 questions? Is quite important. Did Diamond confirm that your tavern is in my barony? Is this my problem?
I don't necessarily know that it was confirmed that it was in your barony, but I'm going to assume that it was.
Okay. That's fine. In that case, he points down. He has very, very long black painted fingernails that actually form into points, and he points down at the swords, and he says, "I assume that was the merman's weapon."
Yes, sir, it was. I have a strict no weapons policy due to the fact that I don't appreciate bar fights, and when people have weapons, things get messy, and it's a mess that I don't want to clean up.
For the record, he told you to shut up halfway through that because he doesn't care.
Okay, well, she finishes anyway.
I did like My. Voidfrost stands up from where he's sitting. There's a kind of a swoosh of robes.
Sorry, what?
As he stands up from where he's sitting, and there's a swoosh of robes.
Okay.
He walks down to the sword, and he picks it up. A beautiful thing.
Willow is actually gonna follow him because someone not listening to him. She wants to have her calming presence as close by as possible because
But he will say, "Where is the body of this merman?"
Unfortunately, he has been dealt with.
What do you mean he has been dealt with?
The red cap ate him. I should have probably kept the body, but I run a business and I don't need dead bodies in there.
Issue a decree for what was the name of this red cap?
Fangly Joe.
I want
And
his left hand brought to me on a platter. You'll just see a scribe take the notation. You do not destroy evidence of murder before it is we have even gotten any information as to the individual in question.
The Fangly Joe said that the puka's name was the Black Rabbit. And to be quite honest with you, he seemed rather shaken by that.
Black Rabbit. Very well then. What is it that you want justice? Is that why you were here bugging?
I suppose I'm asking for the problem to possibly help with the problems to be dealt with, because if a puka is going around eating the faces off of random people, yeah, excuse me, and he violated my home, essentially shitting on my doorstep.
Very well then. Issue a warrant that I wish this black rabbit brought to me in chains. I'll even give a reward of 20 dross to the person who brings him to me. Is that satisfactory, Balkan?
I'd say yes. Yeah, that's satisfactory. Yeah.
I'm gonna question. Did Diamond ever tell you, is this sword a treasure or anything interesting, or is it just a nice sword?
He didn't say.
I will ask.
Yeah, I was gonna say I could ask. I've got the chat up.
If you'd be so kind. Very well then. You will have your justice.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir.
He rounds like you've struck him in the face, and he hisses at you before he takes like 2 steps forward.
She'll take when he takes 2 steps forward. She'll take 2 steps back.
Oh dear, this isn't going to end well.
Nope. Willow is right next to Voidfrost at this point.
Yep.
That's the reason why he didn't use the sword.
Saoirse has gotten up and moved down as well.
Do you want to do maybe an intelligence etiquette roll?
Who, me?
Yes.
It's probably it'd be 2 dice, and I'd like to burn a willpower.
Do you not have any etiquette?
I do.
Do you have 1 intelligence?
No, I've got 2 intelligence, 2 etiquette.
So it's
Then
4.
that's 4 dice.
That's 4 dice.
Oh, okay, 4 dice then. Sorry.
It's quite alright.
And yes, the sword is a treasure.
Okay. That's fine. I'll ask him what it does later. Hashtag. Well, Okay, you get 3 successes. You just gave him the wrong title. You called him a sir, which indicates he's a knight. So basically, you called him under what he is.
Excuse me, my lord. I meant no offense.
There's a definite face twitch.
She looks like she's really uncomfortable right now, and she just wants to go home.
Saoirse looks a little flabbergasted that
sorry, go ahead.
that this Boggin comes in here, and this is now twice that she's.
No, to be fair, my lord is acceptable. Like, he's not angry because he was called my lord. Technically speaking, Baron is correct, but my lord is also fine. So he's not, like, angry about that anymore. You see his demeanor relax. Like, it's less like I am an animal who's about to jump on you now. But you see he smiles. Like, once again, he has a very. He looks dangerous. Murderous Mean does that. But he smiles, and it's almost a sweet smile as he says, "Think nothing of it, Denevoy. You will be given your justice. However, if you come into my home again and misrepresent my title, I will have your tongue nailed to the door with a cold iron spike."
She just kind of gulps and smiles at him. She's like, "Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord." She'll actually she'll bow, and she doesn't want to be here any longer than she has to be here. He could probably see that on her face.
He walks back up to the chair. He kind of walks through the 2 women, one on either side, like just to go back up to the chair.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, you continue.
I should make it known that she is not. She is a commoner, and she's not a noble. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. That's the reason why he reacted as badly as he did, because a commoner just gave him the wrong title.
Okay. Anyway, fair enough.
But he extends his hand and he takes a piece of paper and a pen and he starts to scribble something. He then takes a candle that has basically got his sealing wax underneath it. So he pours some of the wax onto the document and he presses it down with his ring before he folds it up. Before he basically rolls it up and he hands it out to you.
She'll make sure that she has leave to approach him before she walks up to him and takes the document.
You may consider that the statement of intent. If anyone else disturbs the peace within your establishment, they will answer to me.
I'll have it framed, my lord.
Good. You may leave.
Thank you, my lord. It was nice to see you, my lord. And she'll actually she'll bow to the Baron and the Baroness, and I'm not sure if you're supposed to bow to a squire. I don't think you are. So she won't bow to the squire because she's really not sure if she's supposed to, and she will leave, followed by the tall gentleman that arrived with her. He is a knocker. I'm not sure if you can kind of tell that.
Oh yeah, we can see each other's means.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, he's a knocker.
You see, he basically presses his thumb and his forefinger to the bridge of his nose as his brilliant red eyes close, just like in a kind of an oi, oi.
So yeah, she'll leave.
Sergei tells me that I should have a trapdoor installed in the floor. I should have a trapdoor installed in the floor.
I have to agree.
Or perhaps we will need to help the commoners understand what and how they should approach before they actually approach.
Needless to say, he taps the sword. He's basically brought it back up with him to his chair. He taps it with a finger and he says, "This is a treasure, one way or the other. It will more than likely need to be returned from whence it came. The merfolk are oftentimes easily stirred up. This death will not go unnoticed, so the sword will need to be repatriated home. If I had the body," and yes, he does shout, "of the individual in question, this would be so much easier. But it has been desecrated, so we must do what we can."
Would you like for me to try and make amends with them? It's easier for me to at least reach them.
This seems amenable. He will hold out the sword and he will say, "Take this, give them our apologies, and say that the culprit will be found and brought to justice," etc., etc., etc.
I think I can handle that.
Good. Needless to say, we can't have random puka breaking up bars now, can we? Particularly when it means I have to deal with little poofball boggins.
Honestly, if she was in the room, she'd probably appreciate you calling her a poofball boggin.
Poof.
Do it.
All right, you know what? Just for Charlotte. Boggin!
Thank you.
But yeah, I think with that we can end our scene. So thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene of Darkness of Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.